2.1 Charter Act of 1813. Introduction. The East India Company Act 1813, also known as the Charter Act 1813, was an act of the Parliament of the United Kingdom which renewed the charter issued to the British East India Company, and continued the company's rule in India. Background. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte's continental system in Europe prohibited the import of British goods into French allies in Europe. Due to this, British traders and merchants suffered. Features. 1. Company and its trade. 2. Local governments. 3. Permission to missionaries. 4. Promotion of Indian literature and science. 5. Indian education. 1. Company and its trade. The company's rule was extended to another 20 years. The trade monopoly was ended except for the trade in tea, opium, and with China. The company's dividend was fixed at 10.5%. 2. Local governments. This act empowered the local governments to tax people subject to the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. The act gave more powers for the courts in India over European British subjects. 3. Permission to missionaries. Another important feature of this act was to grant permission to the missionaries to come to India and engage in religious proselytization. The missionaries were successful in getting the appointment of a bishop for British India with his headquarters at Calcutta in the provisions of the act. The missionaries who poured into Indian soil in between 1813-1833 belonged chiefly to Great Britain. But the missionaries who came to India after 1833 mostly belonged to Germany and America. These missions included the Baal Mission Society, the Protestant Lutheran Society, and Women's Association of Education of Females in the Orient, founded in Berlin, the American Baptist Union, the American Board, and the American Presbyterian Mission Board. 4. Promotion of Indian literature and science. This act provided for a financial grant towards the revival of Indian literature and the promotion of science. 5. Indian education. The company was also to take up a greater role in the education of the Indians under them. It was to set aside 1 lakh rupees for this purpose. It is stated clearly in Clause 43 of the Charter Act, which runs as follows. A sum of not less than 1 lakh of rupees in each year shall be set apart and applied to the revival and improvement of literate and the encouragement of the learned natives of India, and for the introduction and promotion of a knowledge of the sciences among the inhabitants of the British territories in India. Significance. 1. This was the first step taken by the British rulers towards the encouragement of the study of literature and science in India. 2. For the first time in the Indian soil, official money of rupees 1 lakh was allotted to expand the education of the Indians. Defects. This act led to the loss of the market for handmade handicrafts made by Indian craftsmen and ultimately led to the decline of the Indian handloom industry. Conclusion. This charter is also called the cornerstone of modern education, as this act brought major changes in the Indian education.